This is ADHD Annie. She frequently spends time with Depression Danielle and Anxiety Astrid. ADHD Annie is getting ready for bed. She's tired. But wait, racing thoughts Rachel won't go home. She keeps hitting ADHD Annie in the face. She won't get any sleep like that. Uh-oh, here comes Ruminating Roarie. Wait, oh no, ADHD Annie is thought spiraling. This looks like the end. Hold on, Annie's getting out her weighted blanket and hitting Ruminating Roarie with it. Well, that's one down. But if ADHD Annie is hoping to get some sleep, she's gonna need more than that. Hey there, ADHD mamas. I don't have to tell you how difficult it can be to get to sleep and wind down at the end of the day. So I decided to compile a list of 6 tools and tricks that come from me as well as my ADHD family. Let's go ahead and we'll get started with number 1. The first tip that I have is actually something that has to do with during the day, which is changing to these special LED full spectrum light bulbs. Now, I just got these the other day. They are supposed to have more wavelengths and simulate sunlight. So in my mind, if we have these in our house, then it really helps get the boost of sunlight that we need so much without having to go outside if you can't go outside, or without being stuck with overcast skies and not being able to get that sunlight anyway. So just like any other LED bulb, they just look like a regular light, and I put them in several of our overhead lights the other day, and it seemed to give off a very white kind of a light. I didn't really notice it being that any excitingly different to me in any way, but I had remembered reading that it's difficult for us with ADHD to get enough sunlight, and that's why it's so necessary to go outside. I know it's not the only reason, but aside from bringing a bunch of plants inside that I don't have the capacity to take care of, it was one of the best ways I thought to bring the outdoors inside. But tip number 2 comes from my 16-year-old daughter, and she likes to use guided meditation when she's going to sleep. She turns on her TV and it kind of like tells you what to do. You can breathe in, hold your breath, exhale, clench your muscles, relax them, and she said it really helps kind of distract her mind. I'm going to put a couple of the examples that she uses in the resources of this video in case you want to try them as well. Tip number 3 is something that I heard from another ADHDer, which is biphasic sleep, which basically means that you're not forcing your body to sleep in one big chunk every day, but to split it into 2 chunks. So essentially, I believe that just means like taking a nap, but maybe you can get a little bit more creative with it. I know I definitely had to take naps a lot of times, and it's made a huge difference because without sleep, as you know, everything is much worse, and even medication doesn't necessarily help. Tip number 4 comes from my husband. He said if he's having a really hard time with thought spirals and he just can't fall asleep in the middle of the night, a lot of times he'll turn on YouTube and he'll watch something that's very neutral emotionally. It's like, for instance, how bridges are made, or maybe watch somebody, making something, or maybe he's learning about something that interests him, but it's not like emotionally charged in either direction. And I think this kind of goes back to the law of distraction, like I mentioned before with my daughter's tip, which I think is super beneficial for us ADHDers. I'll include a couple of examples in the description for the video. Tip number 5 is using a weighted blanket. And there's a specific way that you're supposed to go about this. I've had this one for probably about 6 months now. And you're supposed to pick one that is 7 to 12% of your body weight. Otherwise, it's gonna be too heavy. I think this one's about 25, maybe 20 pounds. And it's a queen size, so it's a big blanket. And I tried sleeping with it overnight. My daughter tried sleeping with it overnight, and we found it to be a little bit much. It was better for like snuggling up if you felt really like overwhelmed or just like really overstimulated, or for taking a nap, because I feel like it just like when you lay down under it, you just kind of like, you're like not allowed to move. Like feel like you're not allowed to move, so you can kind of like feel like you have to stay there and relax and go to sleep. Tip number 6 is just to ask ChatGPT for tips. I actually did this to get a few ideas for myself, and I actually came back with a couple of ideas I didn't use in this video, but things that I might try, because when you ask ChatGPT, you can be more specific. Say, hey, I struggle a lot with depression and anxiety, and I have ADHD. What are some unique ways that I can try to get better sleep? So I hope you enjoyed these tips. I would love to hear in the comments if you have any that you've tried. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.